All right, pre-show shenanigans. I crossed off a bucket list item this weekend for an LA native, which I needed to cross off. Well, I guess this thing's only been in place for like a year and a half, but
Okay.
it was about time for me to cross it off. But last Friday, for the first time in my life, I attended Intuit Dome. There was a college basketball kind of like showcase thing this weekend all over the country. Just a bunch of different NBA arenas were having like lit basketball games. So I first went to see my USC Trojans take on the Illinois State Redbirds. Easy cover, never in doubt. And then second game, I watched Bronny James and the Arizona Wildcats. Bronny didn't play a second, or not Bronny. Bryce didn't play a second for the Wildcats, but I saw Bryce James and the Arizona Wildcats take down the UCLA Bruins in Intuit Dome. I would talk about the game itself and the stadium, which was really cool.
Yeah.
Certified
So
water boy
who gets the
official.
wad? Who gets the wall in those games? What team is designated as the wall team?
Great question. And I had the exact same question throughout the whole time. UCLA fans got the wall.
Okay.
However, the U of A for Arizona chants throughout the stadium were deafening. I also want to point out UCLA being the light blue color, they stick out in the stands really easy. I thought like, oh my God, there's like 80% UCLA people there. That was not true. It's just every time you see a light blue shirt, it really sticks out in the
Right.
crowd.
Yeah.
So I that was another takeaway I had, that the light blue makes it appear like you have more fans in the crowd than you actually do because it's really easy to pick out. Anyway, forget the game. The stadium itself, really sick, but we're not here about any of
On.
that shit.
Okay.
When
All
I
right.
got to the stadium, my brother and I finagled club tickets. Now, basketball game, they dropped so hard. We got in for like $80, fees included, club seats. We were like, all right, we have to go. We're sitting down, get in our seats, all settled. Take a look to our left. We see this really tall guy. We're like, who is that? And we see a bunch of other people in the like little box right next to us just going up to him, like surrounding him. We're like, this has to be somebody pretty famous. He turns around, he starts making some joke to like some other guys in our box. And my brother and I, the second he turned, we immediately look at each other and just go, Sasha Vujacic. We were right next to Sasha Vujacic. I just want to say, Sasha Vujacic doesn't look like he's aged at all. He looks the
Really?
exact like face structure. He looks like he's 28 years old. He looks so good. And I was like, oh my God, that is two-time back-to-back Laker NBA champ, Sasha Vujacic. And just for anyone who, if anyone was in doubt whether the Dodgers run LA, maybe the Rams run LA right now, or the Lakers, it's not even up for debate. Sasha Vujacic was literally recognizable from across the stadium.
Well, like,
Everybody
can I
picked
make
it. Remember, this is a Clippers stadium.
what?
Okay,
I just want to make a point. I just want to make a point.
Sasha Vujacic, legend.
I want to make a point. The Lakers from like the 2000s, we're talking 2000, 2010, right?
Yeah,
That
Kobe's
dominated
run.
Los Angeles. If you want to talk right
They were
now,
the only thing in LA.
yeah, right now, who runs LA? It's not the
It's not
It's
the
not the
Lakers,
Lakers.
but
No.
it's just
Mike,
L.
you got to put the microphone close to your mouth.
Sorry,
There you
it's
go.
just
Yeah.
LA as a whole. It will at least as our like for our generation.
Oh. Uh-oh. Yeah, we got a little
Are we?
choppiness here.
Well, back to the Intuit Dome. It's the Sasha Vujacic experience was so amazing sitting next to him. Now, I didn't actually get to like sit there and talk basketball with him, but I was just thinking of questions I could ask Sasha Vujacic, and I really couldn't think of anything good. But ever, I'll give you this opportunity. Do you have a question for a two-time defending Laker champ? What would you ask him if you were just next to him
It's not
for
what
a UCLA basketball game?
It's not what I would ask him about that being a two-time defending champ. Grant, my question would be what it was like the first time he met Kobe Bryant. That's what my question. I need to know the war stories of the first time.
Pretty sure I could be wrong, but I'm pretty sure he has, like every Laker has an elite
That's why
meeting Kobe Bryant story.
I need that story.
I will also say they were honoring Bill Walton at this game, who recently passed away, and to give a not a eulogy, but a reflection, talk a little bit about Bill Walton. They get Kareem to do it, and I'll just say that while Kareem started talking, Sasha Vujacic shut the hell up. Nothing else in his life mattered except for what Kareem was saying, and I was thinking they definitely have some relationship. Like if you were on the Lakers,
any Laker
with
great
Kobe,
definitely has a relationship.
Luke Walton obviously has a relationship with all those guys, but like Sasha Vujacic does. Shit, Shannon Brown probably has a relationship with Kareem. Some relation. I'm not saying they're best friends, but they've spoken before.
Nick Young. Nick Young's probably spoken to them a couple times.
Oh, 100. Like at that point, like Nick Young was like, quote, like a star. Kareem's sitting there like, oh my God, I actually have to talk to Nick Young about leading this franchise. Like, what am I doing? But I was just sitting there looking. They also had another former Laker, John Wilkes, who went to UCLA, give a bit of a talk. And I was just seeing how Sasha Vujacic looked at those Laker legends. And I was like, oh, that's a specific Laker fraternity that is just such an exclusive club that literally none of us will ever understand.
Yeah. Yeah.
I was just thinking
now
that
Bronny James Laker, is a part of it.
Yeah. I mean, just to think, Bronny James started for the Lakers on Saturday and LeBron James started for the G League. What? Like, what?
JJ Redick. He's got elite ball knowledge.
I do think JJ, like I was saying, Brian Schottenheimer's the luckiest man on earth. That was until I saw the 10 plagues of Egypt are impacting his house. Did you see this?
I did see that.
His house has been invaded by wasps and owls.
Wasps and owls and cockroaches and everything in between.
I was going to say he's luckiest. JJ Redick's the luckiest. JJ Redick's the luckiest man. His very first chance ever coaching. He didn't even coach his son's 6U basketball team. Okay. His first shot ever coaching, you get the Los Angeles Lakers. That's a top 3 coaching job.
He was a player coach, Grant. He was a player coach.
Was he? I don't think he was.
I think towards the end of his career, he was.
Not like head coach.
No, not even remotely close.
I was asking my dad about player coaches, and I think Pete Rose was the last player manager who like played himself. He didn't start himself every day, but he was like, all right, we need to hit. All right. Looks like the old man's got to go.
Okay. Well, that's different. That just hasn't happened in decades, but
yeah, like that's not really a thing now. It'd be sick. Yeah. I want that. It'd be so sick.
I don't know
what if just player, like Stafford was the OC.
What
like,
player would be like the optimal player coach in that role right now?
And we're assuming they're starting because I was say obviously backup quarterback.
It's not a back. No, we're not talking about a backup. It's
of a starter. I don't know if they could do like OC. That's really difficult. Head coach.
Football is really hard to do. Baseball is different.
I think a center could be a O-line position coach.
We're talking. If you're talking about manager, we're talking about Pete Rose being manager.
Massive impact on the game.
We're talking like head coach. Like that's what we're talking.
I don't think. I don't think it could. It'd have to be like Mike Conley right now.
Yeah, honestly,
it washed up point guard.
That's pretty. That's
Mike Conley might be the only man who could play or coach today.
I was gonna make a joke about a two-way player like Travis Hunter, like that's just another mantle.
That's a lot on his plate now. You got offense, defense, and you got to call the offense, Trav.
But interesting thought. Yeah, no, interesting thought. That would be Joe Flacco's next stop. That's Joe Flacco's next stop.
Yeah, I mean, just seeing Carson Palmer be the head coach of Santa Margarita and like they might win CIF right now because Bosco got bounced. Like, I know there's.
I'm getting a fraud alert on that, by the way. Not good. Not a good sign. But Okay.
Could apply to
All right.
Bosco, which is true, but if it's applying to Margarita, oh,
it's getting
goodness.
louder right now. So, it's getting really loud.
I can hear it. I can hear it. That's loud.
That's really
piercing, to be honest. But that's gonna do the pre-show. Wow, what an intro, everybody. But without further ado, let's get into the episode. What is going on, everybody? Welcome back to a very special episode of the Waterboy Podcast. It is episode 350. And today we have a massive weekend of sports to unravel, recap, go over. I would say YouTube TV getting resolved was definitely the biggest.
No, that was big.
Weekend.
That was big.
That was the biggest dub we could have
possibly
possibly had. And the quad boxes on Saturday, they were absolutely elite. Absolutely elite. I would say some of the SEC games were left a little bit to be desired, especially that Texas Georgia ending, how that fourth quarter went. The BTA
Arch looked like he was crying.
Arch, he was.
Oh, he was.
Arch was crying on the sideline. He was, and Peyton Manning was probably sitting there just like, oh my. Oh, he is bringing down the family legacy. But a lot to unpack over this weekend. NFL as well. We had some bangers. I would say Rams Seahawks did. It was very close.
It did not go up to the expectations that we believed that it could.
I am thinking though, because this first one
should have known
ton of points left on the table.
You think the second meeting is going to be different?
This is the only point.
This is the only point that I think I did make this point. I think I did make this point last week. And I think it was in between us talking about how we're expecting it to be like a 50-point matchup. The Rams did destroy Sam Darnold twice last year. Yes. And then obviously similar things happened this past week, but we'll get into that later. Grant, let's start with college football here. I know there's games to unpack. I know that there are rankings to look at. Obviously, the CFP has not come out yet. We're recording this on Monday. Grant,
I also think it's late this week. I think it's going an hour late.
Yeah. The thing I want to start with, Grant, and I think that it's gotten way more attention this week because of one specific play. But I didn't look at any of these stats until, this came up. We're talking about a Heisman race, Grant. We're talking about a Heisman race. We are talking about Jacob Rodriguez, Grant, Texas Tech's linebacker.
Oh, I'd love to talk a little Jacob Rod right now.
So,
as an Arvell Reese stan, I'd love.
First of all,
I mean this in a good way. I'm not going to shit
Jacob Rodriguez, linebacker. Okay. He was put in this past week at quarterback to get a rushing touchdown, as Texas Tech's head coach stated, and I quote, because the Heisman race is a quarterback award now. Big, hey, he's thinking big with that. Hey, I would also like to say
thus far.
The thing that makes all what I'm about to say even more impressive, Grant, is that Jacob Rodriguez was originally a quarterback at Virginia. He was a quarterback at Virginia, then transferred to Texas Tech and converted to linebacker.
Did not know that detail. Did not know that.
Jacob Rodriguez, through their first 11 games this year versus Manti Te'o's campaign all the way back in 2012. Grant, I'm going to tell you Manti Te'o's stats first. 98 tackles, 5.5 tackles for loss, 1.5 sacks, 6 interceptions, no forced fumbles, 1 fumble recovery, no touchdowns.
6 interceptions is pretty crazy.
6 interceptions. Remember, it's a linebacker.
No, I know. That's what I'm saying.
And this is one of we talk about this, Manti Te'o, one of the most elite linebacker seasons in college football history. Defensively, just in general, defensively. Grant, Jacob Rodriguez this year through 11 games, 100 tackles, 2 more than Manti Te'o. 9.5 tackles for loss, 4 more than Manti Te'o. 1 sack, half a sack less than Manti Te'o. 4 interceptions, 2 less than Manti Te'o. 7 forced fumbles, 7 more than Manti Te'o.
That is absurd.
2 fumble recoveries and 2 touchdowns. I know Manti Te'o didn't win the Heisman that year. Grant, and I know, hey, Ty Simpson's having a good year. Jeremiah Love's having a great year. Fernando Mendoza's having a good year. This is absolutely crazy. Like that.
It's very good. He's the most impactful player on that team by far.
That's just I know it's not necessarily a defensive award right now, but like I don't think that we've necessarily seen a campaign like that through this point in the season in a really since Manti Te'o. Like that's absolutely
for a
absurd.
linebacker. Yeah, I would say though it's like I wouldn't say it's like too nuts for him to be a Heisman finalist. I'd say I actually lean more towards that happening than not. Like I think like Chase Young's year, like you could get the hype as a defensive player. And I think at linebacker, it's actually easier because you're
moving around the field more
involved.
Yeah.
And you can have a play every week. And right now, Jacob Rodriguez is coming up with a massive play every single week, getting a forced fumble, causing a turnover, a massive tackle on a third down, making them punt. Like he is having massive moments each week where he could be on that stage and kind of have that hype. Because for the Heisman, you need narrative. It's a narrative media award. And I actually think that could help him
I agree.
to New York.
And I think that it should,
especially with Bama losing.
Yeah. I think, like you said, it shouldn't be surprised that he's a Heisman finalist, but it's more so bringing attention to it because when we've talked about Heisman, you hear other people talking about Heisman's, he's never really been in that name conversation about winning it. And that's the bigger thing is, yeah, it is more of an offensive award, namely a quarterback award. But when you're looking at the seasons, like I know Ty Simpson's had a good season. Bama just lost. Mendoza's had a good season. Indiana, almost like, they've had moments where they might lose. Jeremiah Love's had a good season. No complaints about that. Started off slow. Now he's really hot, right? This is one of those things where I'm just like, if I were to compare what he's doing right now to what Mendoza's doing, to what Ty Simpson's doing, I would argue that you could put
and
him
forget
above
Marcel Reed too right now.
I know, but I'm just looking at it as like the Heisman 4. And as of right now, I would say the Heisman 4 probably are Ty Simpson, Mendoza, Jacob Rodriguez, and Jeremiah Love.
Reed's in there over Ty Simpson's out after last week.
After that. So then Marcel Reed and then Jeremiah Love.
I'd say right now, Marcel Reed, like he might.
Marcel Reed, hey, I'm forgetting about that second half this past week. That's crazy.
Yeah, and like I'll say this,
that's a Heisman
Marcel
moment.
Reed Marcel Reed and Fernando Mendoza were so ass in the first half that they gave themselves a Heisman moment. I don't know. We could have our decision. Is that a Heisman moment or not? When he was Marcel Reed now, quite literally the worst quarterback in the history of this 156-year-old sport, the worst quarterback in the history of the sport. That first half, second half, he looked like a Heisman. So, people can take what they want from that. I know the majority of Heisman voters voting will say that's the greatest Heisman performance of the year. And kind of same thing with Mendoza, played like absolute dog shit the first half against Penn State. Yeah, he's missing his receivers. I know it stinks, but that's football.
But also, you're a Heisman player. It doesn't matter if your receivers are out or not. Like
nobody gives a shit if your receiver go win. All right, exactly. That's what college football is about. So yeah, but hey, he had his Heisman drive at the end there. So those two guys had drives. I will say, though, I am completely on board the fact that Julian Sand does not have a Heisman moment thus far and should be eliminated from all Heisman conversations because of it. At the end of the day, Julian Sand needs to understand what this award is about, and he should not have 3 touchdown leads in the fourth quarter. Really stupid of him. And it's just like, what are you doing, dude? Like, we're here for Heismans, not natties. That's what we're about over here at Ohio State. So, yeah, that's my take on Julian Sand in that race. But Jacob Rodriguez should 100% get nods here. He's easily should win. Oh. Sorry, muted. Easily should win. Not butt kiss. Easily should win. Holy shit! What is the linebacker word? Is it butt kiss?
I think it's.
Is that what it's called?
I'm pretty sure it's butt kiss. Yeah.
Yeah, Remington center. Okay, so Jacob Rodriguez should easily win butt kiss. I'm not saying that half-heartedly. Like he should have it over Arvell. Like for that award, stare at the tackle total.
I mean, by looking at that, like it seems to me that Jacob Rodriguez is having the best season of any defensive player, right?
Like just on I would say on impact, yeah, 100%. Stats, I have no
That's
clue. He probably is also the best
yeah.
statistically,
But
but
like that's the Heisman
impacts
part. But
Texas Tech.
For Butkus specifically too, it's by position. He clearly is the best linebacker in the nation right now.
Yeah, no, there, and I also think being a senior really helps for linebacker.
No, it does,
Like
and
that award they want to give it
I also
seniority.
think that might help for the Heisman too because it's a
Well,
narrative
he'll
thing.
need to win the butt
Yes,
kiss to win the
yes,
Heisman.
obviously, but I
Yeah.
mean, it's been a while since a defensive player won a Heisman, and I think that if he
An
continues this
only
up,
defensive player, like I guess it's technically Charles Woodson.
Woodson was the last time.
I know he was punt returning stuff, but
Yeah.
he was
Well,
okay.
hey, he's rushing in for touchdowns too. He's on offense. Jacob
Yeah, a
Rodriguez
little
is
bit.
running for
I'm just saying
touchdowns.
that helped. Like all those defense winners, like they're all aware, and all those coaches are like, all right, go.
I would not be surprised if they actually just fucking put him at running back for the next like 3 weeks.
I don't know if that'd be smartest for them long term.
No, but just feed him goal line carries. Let's just get tutties.
Hey,
just get tutties.
Yeah, maybe that's their best play. I'm not entirely sure, but yeah, no, I want to give Jacob Rodriguez a shot. He's been amazing. The other exhilarating news of the day: James Franklin has been hired as Virginia Tech's new head coach. I will say, let's talk about Virginia Tech first. What a hire! What a smash! Now, their last head coach, I'm forgetting his name, but that guy had Virginia Tech rocking. The clips of him walking in the Enter Sandman, those were pretty sick. Not gonna lie.
Brent Fry.
Was that it?
Brent Fry.
Okay. I liked his look as a football coach. I couldn't give you any input on him as a football coach itself. He looked the part though. Definitely looked the part. But James Franklin's an absolute home run hire for Virginia Tech. If you're just thinking of what James Franklin turned Penn State into and what he inherited, Penn State is eternally in debt to James Franklin,
especially considering the circumstances he took it over in.
He took them over quite literally the worst possible situation you could take over. He said, I'll do it. Yep. Now it was coming from Vandy. It wasn't that hard to convince him, but leaves Vandy, goes to Penn State, and makes them a force. It makes them relevant, makes them a threat. And I don't know how many coaches would have been able to do that at Penn State. That was not an easy job. That was very difficult. And he had recruiting restrictions his first couple of years there. Like literally is not allowed to take a full class.
And he gave us elite we got Trace McSorley throwing on a dime. We had
elite, yeah.
Saquon Barkley. Like you have Micah Parsons there. Like he did a excellent job.
Phenomenal job for what he inherited and what the expectations were when he took over. No one was being like, oh yeah, James Franklin's going to be potential playoff contender year in, year out. Nobody was thinking that, but he made them relevant. And unfortunately, Penn State, we don't know who their next head coach is. We still don't know. A lot of like rumors flying around different places.
Who Florida's next head coach is about to be, though. We'll get to that in a second.
I don't know if if I'm Penn State right now, how it seems they should go try to get Matt Campbell. I don't know if they will. Matt Campbell doesn't entertain coach options until his season is over. So Matt Campbell's side will not begin negotiations until the Iowa State regular season is done. So that could be a, roadblock in him leaving because he's not going to quit on his team with 2 weeks left. But that's kind of the head coach you'd want to go hire next time around. Regardless, though, I hate Penn State. I don't want you guys to do well. Penn State's going to be worse off firing James Franklin than if they just kept him. Now, I'd say if they kept James Franklin this year, they would have lost more games. They maybe would have 1 or 2 wins right now instead of their like 6 straight losses. So it's not like it would have been.
To be fair, Drew Aller also being hurt doesn't help the situation.
Yeah, of course. But I'm just saying, like, long term, you look, James Franklin, he is right there. Like he was quite literally right there knocking on the door. Even if you look the past 5-6 years where he may have not had a natty contender, all those teams were frisky and in a 12-team playoff would have made it. So it's like,
Look, hey, Virginia Tech also, just as a team, they've had players in the past who have been very good. And in the past couple of years, yeah, they fell off a little bit of a wagon. But as somebody who personally had to play Virginia Tech in a bowl game, they were on the upward trend. Like they were moving up, and it plateaued a little bit, obviously. But having James Franklin brought in there, I think really, gives another
For
push.
Virginia Tech, that's like as good as it can get for your hire.
I literally don't think it could be that. Like, it's
no,
not
no,
like you're going to go
that
poach
was the
Marcus
best.
Freeman. So
no, that was
yeah,
right. Like that was literally the best hire they could have got, and they went and got him. So great job on V Tech. Penn State though, it's strange. It's a weird position. I guess you're happy because you look at how LSU looks right now, which now Lane Kiffin family was PJ'd out to Baton Rouge.
They were also PJ'd out to
PJ'd out all over. PJ'd everywhere.
I mean, look,
shit, they may get a Columbus, Ohio PJ coming their way.
Let's just talk about that circumstance, right? So, obviously, Ole Miss has now requested clarification from Lane Kiffin this week about what his status with the team is going to be. If he does not meet the deadline for that, Ole Miss is then faced with the decision to let him coach in whatever bowl or playoff game that they make, because they can exclude him from coaching in that if he doesn't
LSU.
meet their deadline. I'm talking about Ole Miss. Ole Miss can exclude decide to not let him coach in those games.
Well, I mean, I just opened Twitter right now. There's a non-zero chance by the time we finish recording, he's announced the head coach of the University of Florida. All I'm saying.
Well, also, Grant, not going to say, but like Waterboy sources indicate that Lane Kiffin will be Florida Gator head coach.
I'm aware, but I will say Lane Kiffin has under the table taken other jobs that were pre-signed right now, and then he didn't actually go.
Well, also, to be fair, this job, the Florida job, is technically under the table too. Not necessarily pre-signed. So,
well, I'm aware, but I'm saying like Everett, I think it might get announced like today, and then Ole Miss is like Lane, like you're not coaching us anymore. Like I think Lane might not finish the season. Everett is what I'm saying.
No. That I kind of expect to happen.
I think Ole Miss is like actually within 30 minutes here is going to tell Lane,
which hey, look,
parking spot handicap is no
also,
longer.
I'm just saying this, generally speaking, like as somebody who has experience with Ole Miss, and I'm not going to say disdain for them, but I've said on this podcast several times,
you dislike Ole Miss.
I don't like Ole Miss. Playing Ole Miss. But it's largely because of Lane Kiffin. And as a fan of football, as somebody who's worked in football, as somebody who's been around locker rooms that have gone through coaching changes, to have your best season potentially ever right now with chances to win the national championship on the line, and your coach just leaves on you like that sucks. That sucks for so many people, for so many coaches, for so many players, for so many fans. And like I like, I feel for that, but it is Lane Kiffin, and I can't say that I would be surprised. Like, I mean,
nothing should surprise you at all.
Absolutely not.
About Lane Kiffin.
The conduct. Hey, you know what? It's just it would create a whole new fan base that just despises him and understands. I would just say
Lane is like probably the like if you thought loyalty existed among coaches, boy, do I have something to tell you about Lane Kiffin. Whoever hires him next. No, he will not be loyal to your school, whatever the contract says.
But that means, look, somebody, and also him, I think the Ole Miss being like, hey, let's give you clarification. Like, we want clarification. To me, that tells me Ole Miss is not going to increase his pay or get an extension or renegotiate something like we saw with Mike Elko.
Well, if he wanted to stay, he would have signed the extension.
No, well, but I'm also saying at this point, by the way that sounds, either one, there was not an extension provided, or two, there was, and he didn't sign it.
I'm so confident they offered him an extension. Ole Miss would be so dumb not to, and then he didn't accept.
So to me, that's a clear signal. And I think that once this piece falls, because this is obviously the biggest piece of the board, we're going to see things heat up, and obviously towards the end of the season, we'll see things heat up more. But it does make me curious, like, who's the next candidate? Who's the next man up for either of these schools in LSU and Florida? Because one of them's not getting Lane Kiffin. And then Ole Miss
there's only
opens
one Lane
too.
Kiffin.
And then Ole Miss would be open too. And it's who's going to be out at Ole Miss.
LSU calls up Tom Brady, clone me a second lane.
Accelerate the progression on him. We can't have 23.
Like it's Camino, literally.
Oh God.
Enough. That was we went full circle on the references there. All right,
yeah, that was everything.
On to the NFL, National Football League.
You didn't want to talk about the games for this past week in college football?
We've been going for quite a minute.
Yeah, I guess.
I want to go some NFL. I'd say college football. It wasn't that exciting.
Big for Tulane. Big week for Tulane.
A big win. Awful week to be Pat Narduzzi.
Or USF.
Good win for USC. Good win for USC. Bama taking L. Jesus, I guess Brett Venables just has Kalen DeBoer's number. Shit.
Yeah.
I don't know. New rivalry to look into in the SEC.
I saw a meme that was
Oklahoma, when they had their SEC schedule announced 2 years ago, and everyone's like, oh, you wonder why Lincoln Riley dipped for USC. And now Brent Venables is winning those games.
I saw a meme that was just like, hey, Texas and Alabama, let's have an under the table deal. Texas, we'll tell Alabama how to beat Oklahoma. Alabama, you tell Texas how to beat Georgia, and we will call it a day.
Yeah. No, let's get some triangles, some under the peace treaty deals signed in place here in the SEC.
Also, just real quick, how funny would it be if Lane Kiffin, after beating Florida this week, turns around and goes to Florida?
When I found out last week that they were playing, I was like,
it's like that literally reminds me the same shit that Ben Johnson did last year when he just emptied the bag versus the Bears.
No, I was literally thinking, I'm like, oh, this might be a negotiation tactic. Like if I hang 70 on Florida, they might have to bump me an extra $2 million.
I don't know. He might have actually lost like $1 million off of that offer by letting them be within 10 points at the end of the game.
I could be wrong,
first half they were losing. So I mean,
oh no, they did not cover the spread. Spread was 10.5.
First half they were losing like that. He might have lost a couple mil on that.
Is there any way Lane, the boosters are just like, Lane, do not cover the spread? We're also
they're also like that's where the money for the rest of your contract is coming from.
You cannot cover the spread. At this point, anything's on the table in this sport.
Everything.
Didn't they just make it legal for college players to gamble now, like fully legal, right?
I think that got worked. I think they walked that one back a little bit.
Certainly walk it back a lot.
I'm pretty sure they walked it back.
I think they should run it back, to be honest. And by that, I mean like remove it.
Yeah, I think they walked it back.
But on to the NFL.
Okay. All right. Where to start with the NFL, Grant? I honestly, this is the most. I know there's games to reflect on.
How about let's retire España games or Europe games? Let's start with that.
Just
how about that?
International games, maybe just in general, because they still do play in Brazil.
At least Brazil's okay because the time zone wise, it's fine.
It's not as far. Yeah.
We can't be doing 6:30 a.m. wake up call Pacific. We're not watching.
Well, I did do that.
8:30 though.
Well, no, last year I did that.
Well, that's different. You have a team playing.
Well, that's what I'm saying. That's what I'm saying. My team was playing. I'm not getting up to watch it if my team's not playing, no matter what. Absolutely not.
Exactly. That's what I'm saying.
I will watch the highlights when they play it on Red Zone or in between my game at halftime.
If Rams Seahawks was Spain 6:30 a.m., were you getting up for that? No, exactly.
No, I'll wake up and the game will be on when I wake up. It'll probably be like the end of the third quarter and I'll watch the fourth quarter. In preparation
for the normal.
Yeah, I'll just watch the fourth quarter while I'm up once I get up. But I'm not getting up early to watch that. No.
They got to fix it. They got to fix it. It's bad.
They won't.
But okay, we had some big games to go over. Okay, real quick. We'll start off Bucks Bills. It was like a basketball game where it was a 1-point lead and they were just trading threes.
Going back and forth.
Threes. Like
that's what we thought. That's what we thought Seahawks Rams would be.
Seahawks Rams.
That's what we thought it would be.
But Bills Bucks. Oh my, Josh Allen.
Him and James Cook is just go out there, just the two of you, please God, figure something, make a play.
Yeah, and it's like now remember going into this, Keon Coleman was a healthy scratch A lot of debates
Yeah.
going around. Why was he a healthy scratch?
Well, I know. Do you know?
Now there were some reports saying it was not performance
It
related.
was not performance related.
It was not,
It was not.
which I find very interesting because Tyrell Shavers comes in and looks like Rashid Shaheed out there. Okay.
Yeah. So, one, I mean, I'm not saying Keon Coleman is, we've been over this. He's not a wide receiver one. He might not even be a wide receiver two. We'll see. But he was benched because he missed walkthrough.
Oh, okay. Okay.
I think it was, I'm pretty sure his walkthrough is not a full practice. I think he just missed walkthrough. But that's why it was a attitude benching.
Okay.
And
okay.
unlike Abdul Carter or Jordan Addison, where they're just benched for a quarter, Keon Coleman hasn't had the game to make it necessary for him to come back in the game from a benching like that.
Yeah, and based on how the Buffalo Bills offense looked, it may have been a tactical decision to bench him.
And hey, Gabe Davis came back. Gabe Davis got like 4 receptions. Like he was looking good back in the Bills system. So I wouldn't be surprised if that's kind of the way that they roll going forward with those wide receivers.
Yeah, it was just the second and third leading receivers for the Bills were James Cook and Ty Johnson, the running backs. So,
and it worked though. They beat the Bill or they beat the Bucks.
I know.
Nice with it.
But that was a spectacular performance by Josh Allen. I don't know how he put up 300 passing yards with those guys. I don't know how he did it.
We were talking about having Heisman performances without having receivers.
That was the Heisman.
That's the definition of that. You just go out and you win. You win. And that's the difference maker between elite quarterbacks and mediocre ones.
No, that's the thing. Josh Allen can go receiver by committee. Mahomes can do it too. When you're that good, you can. Ravens are kind of doing it too. Or at least how they use Zay Flowers. They act like it's wide receiver by committee. So,
yeah, I mean, that was, the best game of the week by far, I would say.
Easy best game of the week. Rams Seahawks. We kind of spoke it a little bit about earlier. But
2-point game, 2-point game, but a lot of that ends up falling on Sam Darnold. You can't throw 4 interceptions and win a game. The fact that you're within 2 points there is a credit to the Seahawks defense, but that's just
I was kind of shitting on the Seahawks defense last year. I'm like, I feel like they kind of lack some star power. It doesn't matter when the unit plays like that. The goal line stands they were making. I was sitting there. I was like, oh shit. Oh,
and Seattle. I'll be honest. I'll make the same point. Like for the Vikings Bears game, we lost in a walk-off field goal, but you're not going to win games when you throw 2 interceptions, when you don't get the ball back, when your special teams is letting up stuff. No matter how good your defense plays, if your offense doesn't play up to the same caliber, and even your special teams, which the Chargers are familiar with, you're not going to win games. That's just how it works. You're muted. There you go.
The fact that it was only a 2-point loss and Darnold threw 4 picks, I guess, is more of a testament to the Seahawks. Certainly.
Exactly. No, that's the same thing.
What?
That's the same thing. But it is just interesting to me now. This is 3 games in a row versus the Seahawks or versus the Rams that Sam Darnold has looked like he's been seeing ghosts. And I don't know what the Rams have on Sam Darnold that no other team has been able to figure out. Like I don't know, but it has been. At least Sam Darnold had one good game against the Lions. That Week 18 game, which he looked really bad in, different. But every game he's had over the last year and a half versus the Rams has looked very bad.
At this point, it's now just a thing. Like this is a thing now. The Rams have Darnold.
Yeah, I don't know what they've got, what film they've got on him, or what thing that scheme that they're drawing up that's got that. But I hope the Vikings do the same thing when they play the Seahawks in 2-3 weeks.
Yeah, I'll say I also have been seeing this recently from LA Rams fans who are sitting there like JSN. It feels like we kind of like held him and contained him, and he still had 105 yards, 9 catches. And LA Rams fans are saying, he's just better than Buka. Like, look at this, guys. Which, I'll be honest, I personally kind of still believe Buka's better than JSN, personally.
Let me ask you this. I'm biased, Grant. But are we saying Jamar Chase and Justin Jefferson aren't top 2? top 3 wide receivers this year.
Not right now, no. JS and Puka are 1-2 right now.
And I
That
just
third, Amon, I don't even
CD.
know. CD, I don't even know who the third is.
And I mean, obviously, not having
But them
quarterbacks,
two are crazy.
not having
No, yeah, a
quarterbacks
lot of
is
it's the quarterback.
falls on
A lot
that.
of
But
it.
at the same time, like sometimes performance just wins. You can't be dropping balls and stuff. But I mean,
well, I mean, that's another thing. Like Jamar, it's just like, dude, this dude drops.
Justin also dropped a couple balls. To be fair, JJ McCarthy threw maybe 4 different balls 20 feet above his head. So
yeah,
that's
like
the alternative.
Jamar specifically, it's like what kind of angers me about him is that if he's not getting his production early, he will himself mentally check out of the game. Like if he doesn't have 6 catches at the end of the first quarter, he's personally just like, all right, guess we're just running. We're just
Well,
out there
now
running
he's suspended
cardio
for a game, so that doesn't help.
Yeah, no, does not help at all. But I would say right now this year, Jason Puka are the best receivers in the NFL. Last bit, well, Chiefs Broncos pretty big too, but Lions Eagles, just a snoozer.
I'll be honest, like both of those. I know Dan Campbell just took
I'm
over
out
play
like a
calling.
light.
I know Dan Campbell just took over play calling. Personally, like the Lions have scored more points overall. I know that's been iffy, but with I think his name is John Moten, something like that. The old offensive coordinator that he's taken duties over for.
Could it be Taylor Moten?
No, that's a tackle.
That's only Moten I could think of.
That's a tackle. I think it's Morton. I think it's John Morton. But the Eagles, I think even though they've won these games, like this is just a point to me. Like I think that you take a team from the AFC right now, they might steamroll the Eagles.
Like, yeah, I think we're on Team AFC to win the Super Bowl right now.
Like
I don't know exactly what AFC team that is.
Let me see. I'm just curious what teams the Eagles have played to this point. Obviously, they barely beat the Vikings as well. Like here's the thing.
They have a pretty tough schedule.
They have wins versus good teams. Like they have beaten the Rams. Schedule, yeah. They've beaten the Bucs. I'm not going to put the Vikings in a good team, but they beat us by 6 barely. They've beaten the Packers. They've beaten the Lions. But Grant, they've lost to the Broncos. Like that's one of their 2
losses. Might be good though,
and they've lost to the Giants.
I don't like the Broncos, but shit, like, they just win.
Here's my thing, like looking at a majority of these games are 1-score games that they're barely sneaking out of. The one game that they won that was not a 1-score game was them versus the Giants like 2-3 weeks ago.
No, they're all very tight. They're leaning on their defense,
also,
and
that's the other thing.
Out.
Their defense is great. Granted, over the past 2 weeks, they've scored 10 points and 16
the offense
points.
Is not good.
I don't know what that's concerning because now it's consecutive weeks in a row. And I know the NFC North is good.
That's just their offense. But they're kind of limited.
The Vikings scored more points versus the Lions when JJ McCarthy had his first game back from injury.
I know, but also like that, the Eagles right now, how they're played, the defense is so good. It's Big Ten football. That's what
I know. I'm just saying. I'm concerned for that offense.
You should be. They're bad. They're not good. Like the defense is really elite though. That they might be fine. I wouldn't pick them to win the Super Bowl right now.
I wouldn't pick them to make the Super Bowl right now, Grant.
No, but like the defense is playing its part and they're leaning on that. They're like the offense, they're like run, punt. Give them the ball in the 10. They won't score. Just punt. Which it's like they probably should be doing that because they're winning. It'd be better to do that than have Hurts throw 45 times and lose. Like, no, I think you guys are probably better off getting clowned by the media saying you can't score but win the game. But yeah, I'd also say it's like they have really tough games right now. Cowboys, Bears, Chargers, Raiders, Commanders.
Also,
Bills, Commanders.
Here's the other thing that I want to say.
They better start waking up, especially Cowboys next week.
Well, here's the other thing. This is unrelated. This is related to the schedule for that, unrelated to the Eagles specifically. but with the Bears, Grant. Bears currently 7-3. They're in the lead of the NFC North. Um,
That's
like,
crazy.
well, here's my point.
That's crazy.
Let me get to it. The Bears, obviously, you're handed the schedule that you get, and they were the worst team in the NFC North last year. Their schedule is going to be easier, right? Mm-hmm. They beat the Vikings. I'm not going to sit here and lament about it, even though that they needed a 60-yard kick return in order to get that field goal range. But that's on us.
Are you kind of happy you lost though? Because like if you win that game, then it's like JJ's our starter.
We'll get to that. But Grant, they've played the Vikings twice, the Lions, the Cowboys, the Raiders, the Commanders, the Saints, a Lamar Jackson-less Ravens, the Bengals, and the Giants. None of these teams, I think the record has to collectively be sub 500 overall with all those teams. The back end of their schedule, you play the Steelers, you play the Eagles, you play the Packers twice, you play the Lions, you play a Browns team that has a really good defense, and you play the 49ers. Like, there's a chance they lose every single one of these games down the stretch. So, like, yeah, they're 7-3 right now, but it's a fictitious 7-3. You make the playoffs, that team's going to get cooked by the way that they're playing, and it's an improvement. And I said last year, and I've said before with Ben Johnson that like they would look good and that they were a good team. It was bad coaching, but even with that, there are teams that they have barely beaten that are significantly worse than what the Bears record says the Bears are. With the Vikings though, and the point that you made, I can't say that I'm not out on JJ McCarthy yet. I'm annoyed and I'm frustrated.
Not out. Still in?
Out.
What, are you all the way in? 1 foot in, 1 foot out. How, like, where
I have both feet are in, but like my last
on the Simpsons meme with the hat, where are you in that? You
talking about the meme where he's running around the hat and picking the hat back on and walking
where
outside?
Are you? Have you
the hat's like on the hook
off and started walking outside?
No. I'm putting the hat on the hook right now.
Ooh, you're early in this phase. So I'm
early. But the point is, look, this is his 5th career start. He has made some general like progression with stuff that's not seen necessarily in the play. I'm getting really sick and tired. Like managing the line, making the calls at the line, calling the play out, just the general game management side of things. However, once the ball is snapped, that's where we run into the issue. Because I sent you this earlier, JJ has an affinity to not get his feet set. And he is making throws with him being wide open in the chest, his feet aren't set, and he's sailing balls. He also, as Tom Brady has said a couple times, he only has one speed, Grant. He has a bullet ball. He doesn't have a touch pass. There's no loft passes. He doesn't have a development for that.
No touch.
If that is not developed by the end of the season, Grant, the hat's back on and I'm walking towards
How is he going to develop it? How is he going to develop that by the end of the year?
Well, it's not. It's more so it needs to be one of those. All right. You develop the touch pass and all this stuff over a little bit of time, but I want to see a little bit more application of that than if it's like,
like, what if he just can't?
Well, if he can't, then that's a really large problem for a quarterback. And that's my point. That's my point.
Everett, I don't think he can.
But
I don't think he ever will. Just
here's my other
learn
thing.
It.
The bigger thing between both of those is you can deal with a bullet ball if your feet are going to be set and you're not going to be open when you're throwing it, because that's how you sail the ball. He has yet to correct that. And the last drive of the game, Grant, where he looked good, every single one of the passes that he threw, his feet were set and he wasn't open when he threw the ball. However, the other 3 quarters of the game,
who wasn't open? The receiver?
No, meaning if he's throwing the ball, right, his feet are set and he's like, imagine this is the way that I'm standing, right, with my feet pointed forward, both of my feet forward.
To me,
he's square,
yes.
Right? So that's what he's been doing, and the ball's been sailing because of that, instead of having his feet set and pointed in the direction that he's supposed to.
Wait, I'm so visual representation for
his chest
when
and
he
legs.
Throws the football, he is standing like this.
Half of his throws have been like that, and that's when he sails them. I'm dead. Yep.
I don't think that's true. If he's square to a guy like this, there's no human on earth that could do that. Like think about.
He's literally he's doing that. He's going like this. There's film of it. I know, and he's doing deep passes and he sails the ball.
Well, the things you've sent me, he wasn't doing that.
His chest is it's the bigger thing is his chest are open, his feet aren't set. When his chest is so when he rotates, it becomes
So it's when he steps.
Yeah.
When he steps into the throw.
So
okay,
when he
the
sets,
way you were describing it makes it seem like he takes the snap and he.
Oh no, he's not just standing there like this. No. It's when he's
Justin Jefferson, Jordan Addison. What?
But that's the biggest issue with him. That's why he's stealing throws. And here's my bigger thing. I do not want this to be a point where Justin Jefferson's like, I do not want to fucking be here anymore because this quarterback.
Wow.
Here's the thing.
We might be there.
It's a one season, I think, is one thing, but if this is like a long-term issue, like I think you can deal with 1 year. And he's not the kind of guy where it's like that, right? But it's I
don't know if Justin Jefferson could do a full year.
We'll find out. Stay tuned.
He's on his last straw.
But my bigger thing is if it's between Justin Jefferson and developing JJ McCarthy, I'm taking Justin Jefferson every day.
I would hope so.
So I hope that the front office and Kevin O'Connor are on the same saying just I get having to develop a quarterback. And at this point, the Vikings are not likely to make the playoffs. So,
but like, what about the mentality of 9 though? Like, how could you give up on that? He's the biggest winner that the world has ever seen. Have you seen how fierce he looks?
He's got war paint.
That's JJ. Have you seen how fierce he looks? That's a winner.
It's also like the special teams
national champion.
Here's the other thing with the Vikings. The
for
defense
a million times second half against Penn State in that
the defense.
Oh wait, he didn't throw.
The defense has been good. Special teams, kick returners, and kicking have both been good. However, the gunners and the blocking schemes on kick returns and on punt returns has just been horrific. And that's I think
I give a slight pass on the whole kick return kick. None of us know what the hell's going on.
No,
none of us really know how to defend that shit.
I can generally just tell that other teams do it much better than we do.
Some teams like have really good return.
We have a really good return man, but I just know that we've consistently had also one of our gunners that we signed specifically to be special teams has just been horrific this year and not downing the ball, running into players, being illegal touching. It's been a whole fucking problem. So, but anyways, Grant, the only other game that I think is interesting and has significant implications, Panthers Falcons. Bryce Young came out here today and looked like he was trying to win the Heisman, threw for a Panthers record 448 yards, 3 touchdowns, beat the Falcons in overtime. Ted McMillan had a great game.
Bryce.
100. Yeah, Bryce.
3 for 4 what?
448 yards, 3 touchdowns. Yep. Round of applause for everybody that can't hear Grant clapping right now. He's giving him a round of applause.
448 yards is a lot.
Yeah.
That's a lot of yards.
Also, shout out to Jacoby Brissett, 47 completions, Grant.
47 for 57. I know he threw 2 picks, but
still, who cares? 47 completions.
57 times and you complete 47 of them. That is one of the most impressive things I've ever heard.
I know. It's an NFL record.
So many.
It's an NFL record. It's an NFL record. But
and it may have been a smash. The previous high was 40, 39 completion.
But Grant, with this game, obviously the Panthers win that. They're squarely in playoff contention. Ted McMillan came out to play, 8 receptions, 130 yards, 2 touchdowns. Rico Dowdle had a game. He had a touchdown callback.
Officially arrived?
I mean, if Bryce keeps playing the way that he has, yeah, because it's dependent on Bryce. But
kind of going into my theory about I don't really care where any of these receivers go. If they're that good,
they'll make it. They'll make it happen.
If they're that good, which Ted McMillan is, it don't matter where they're at. They'll find a way to put up 1,000 yards.
Here is arguably the biggest implications of this game. It's not the Panthers being the playoff race or the NFC South, because by the way, they're 6-5. The Bucs are 6-4. Grant. The Falcons are 3-7. The Panthers can win the NFC South. The biggest thing of this game is not because the Panthers can win the NFC South or that they won the game or anything. Grant, it's because one, Michael Penix is done for the season. He tore his ACL again. That has large implications for the Falcons' future at quarterback. Drake London also out. They're injured. But Grant, the Falcons don't own their first round pick this year.
Yeah, no, they acquired James Pierce.
Grant, the Rams might win the Super Bowl and have a top 10 pick this season.
Yeah, I mean, They kind of will at this point. We'll see if they actually make that pick. Based on recent history, they're trading that pick.
I mean, if I were them, that's generational wealth, some would say.
Some might go that far.
Some
I
might go to
personally
say
would
that.
go that far. Personally, I think I'd be ready to go that far.
I'd be ready to say that.
No, that sounds like generational wealth, right?
But
that sounds like some Rockefeller shit.
This
right
is
there,
my
I
one
think.
thing. I know last season, when the draft came around, we saw the trade happen. I said that, them trading for that, they might be getting assets to trade up to get a quarterback this year to be the successor, right? And obviously a lot of the quarterbacks that we thought were going to come out this year are not. So the question is, do you think that they would trade the pick back or trade away to acquire a first rounder for next year for that class? Or if it's like a top 8 pick, Fernando Mendoza or Ty Simpson are a Ram.
I saw this floating around.
Or Dante Moore. Oof,
I'm all in on this one, but I think it won't be that hard to acquire this guy. Stafford could probably go do it another year or two also.
I would say he's got one more in him.
I don't know.
He's got one more.
When this time frame would occur, but let's say Stafford were to somehow surprise early retire / get hurt out for the year.
If he wins the Super Bowl this year, he's retiring. But
100%, you got to go out like that. Yeah. But if the Rams are looking for a quarterback, I think a guy that they could get might not be that expensive, and Sean McVay would turn it around. We better all sit here and hope and pray Kyler Murray isn't the next quarterback of the LA Rams, because if he is, Everett, we let him do it again. Oh,
I thought you were going to say Anthony Richardson. I was really like, oh my God.
You can't hit the side of a barn with a football. So Kyler with McVay.
I did see somebody say the solution to JJ McCarthy's woes is to release him and then sign him as a quote unquote first round bust. Because I'm saying the Vikings is to cut JJ McCarthy as designate him as a bust, then re-sign him as a first round bust, and then Kevin O'Connell will be like, yeah, now I can fix you.
I think though that is one name that I'm looking at.
That's it. I just think that
Kyler to the Rams. I don't know when that could occur.
I don't know what Kyler's contract is going to look like after the season. I don't really
think the Arizona Cardinals have any outs.
That's the trade. That's the problem with the trade. They're going to eat it.
They're going to eat it.
They're going to eat it. I don't know if it's a trade or release situation, but either way, if it's a trade, the contract comes into play if it's a team like the Rams going to sign him. But with having 2 first-round picks, Grant, you just have to think one of them probably would be a quarterback if they keep both those.
I feel like McVay's extremely involved in that draft process.
Yes,
I can remember the clips of them taking Puka, where McVay's like, no, I could literally build the offense around him. But we need. So I think if McVay's sold on one of these quarterbacks, then I think he is all in too. And
no, I agree with that.
I would say though, McVay, we kind of think of him, young guy, like, oh, of course he can make any quarterback look good. He dealt with that with Goff. He was like, I'm not doing this shit. Go get me a.
But that's why I'm also saying, like, I know he likes the veterans. I know he likes the veterans, and Baker looked good when he came in there too.
Yeah.
And Jimmy maybe not, but I don't even know if Stetson played him in a regular season game or not. But either way, the greater point is, let's say that Stafford has another 2 years out of them. The Rams are in the greatest position of luxury you could have, because that allows Sean McVay to have that guy just sit there and learn. And it's not like you're dealing with a rookie in 2 years from now like that.
Sean McVay could figure Arch out.
I know, but like even then, I'm saying like this draft, like obviously I think you would have to be in a draft where they have 2 first round picks, because if you're in a draft where they just have one, they're not going to just be like, oh, we're going to use our only
most
first
likely
round
moving
pick on
forward.
That. Yeah.
If they just have their first, it'll be like the 27th pick in the draft, and they're trading that away every single time.
Yeah, they're going to trade that
every time.
This is like the year, and I think that like unless they trade that pick back, and you're like, hey, we're going to trade back to like 18, and we're going to take your first rounder next year, so you can move up 9 spots or whatever. Like, I would expect them to probably take a quarterback in one of those 2 picks, because you can sit and learn and not have to deal with rookie woes.
Yeah, just based on the capital that they have and the circumstances, like, this is the year to go do it. I do think though Stafford right now is playing
Oh,
elite
lights out. But that's also why I'm
football.
like, this would be the time to do it because he's playing so elite that you have somebody that you actually can sit there and be like, oh, let me learn and
I
develop.
get what you're saying. I totally get it. We'll see.
Yeah.
I'm gonna lean more so to the chances that they won't go get a quarterback. Cause like I just think of Rams in the early years when they were building that contender competing, they
Right.
were
What
trading.
if Caleb Downs goes to the Rams?
Yeah, I mean that's horrifying.
Oh my God.
Like actually horrifying. Or Arvell Reese, that's horrifying. It's terrifying. Arvell
Yeah.
Reese with verse. Oh God. Darnold's
If
dead.
Dylan Stewart goes
Darnold's
out
going
this
to
year, I don't know if Dylan Stewart
retire.
can go out this year
He
or not.
can't.
Oh, so I was gonna say, oh my God.
No, he can't. He can't. But it in 2 years, that 2027 class, I know we're all talking about Jeremiah. Jeremiah's having all this hype, but those two ends, Dylan Stewart, and then Colin Simmons out of Texas. Oh boy, Everett.
I know. I
Oh,
know.
game changers. All right. Like that's a Khalil Mack replacement, plug and play, boom, production
You're telling
actually
the Chargers to take
increases.
notes here.
If they were in a situation like next year, I don't know how this team's gonna look. Maybe if they're all healthy, we
Well,
could
Khalil Mack's a
finish
free
wild
agent,
card.
so
Well, that and it's just like he's kind of getting up there anyway. His
yeah.
impact isn't as noticeable. It's like Harbaugh would not be afraid to go get one of those elite edges 27. And
Yeah.
because there's so much hype around Jeremiah, there's probably going to have some quarterback. Arch is going to be in that class. There's going to be hype that some of these edges who on paper would be top 3 picks any other draft could fall to like 5, 6 just
Yeah, when you
because
get
there's
that quarterback
other.
class, for
Yeah.
sure. It is going to be interesting now, though, because I doubt Lagway has a good enough season next year where he would go out and be a first round pick.
But maybe if Kiffin's his head coach.
Maybe. But as of right now, based on what I'm seeing, like Lagway might
No, I
not be
know.
going out.
Things change really fast in college, though.
Yep.
You just need one good year. Boom. First pick Heisman. Burrow, Kyler. I was going to say Baker. He doesn't really count, but Burrow, Kyler. One good season the year before, you could be shit / not play. It doesn't matter. One goated year, first pick, $200 million in
Mitch
4
Trubisky,
years.
technically, but it wasn't even goated, even though it was pick 2. But
No, not even like
similar
that per se, but like you just need one good year now. And
Yeah.
with Lagway, if he puts up a God year, which I'm not putting it past him, if Lane is his head coach, oh yeah, if he plays well, Anthony Richardson went top 5, and he literally had like a 42% completion.
Michael Penix is in that same boat too, I would say. Washington.
Yeah, another guy rise a shit ton that last year. Bo Nix rose the moon his last year at Oregon. Like, you see one good year at the end, boom, first pick, first round pick. We're not looking. Great. That's actually the best example of all of them. You look at his first 3 years, pretty good, solid.
JJ McCarthy.
Now, that's a guy that, he didn't do anything that last year. He won a natty and he signed the camera after he threw like 10 passes in the national championship.
He caught a ball backwards before
he caught it. Like
caught it.
I'll be honest. I was also sitting there like, dude, what the hell was that shit? Like,
impressive.
Sitting there like,
impressive.
It was spectacular. Even like, what am I watching? But it's like. But like he can't throw a 9-yard dig, so
no, I will say in the last I probably watch as much JJ McCarthy as you at this point because
you certainly watch more than I have at this point in our lives.
But like that is a big thing. Like when he is dialed in, he's dialed in and he has everything going. The problem is that's a small percentage of the time. And
yeah, it's not as
that
frequent as you'd expect.
Like, yeah, I mean, I shouldn't be looking at charts and seeing Dylan Gabriel has a higher efficiency value than JJ McCarthy.
I'm saying we'll find out next episode. We're about to wrap, but according to the LSU message boards, Lane Kiffin has signed the contract. We'll see who he actually signed the contract.
It's LSU message boards versus Waterboy sources.
Which right now I'm leaning Right now, I'm leaning sources.
I'm leaning sources as
I'm
well.
leaning sources. Okay.
The sources had it in before anything had happened.
Yeah, I mean, sources locked it in. I would say last Tuesday, November 11th.
Yeah.
Our source locked it in.
And he
his
did
crystal ball.
He also had a premonition lock in like a month ago.
Yeah.
When Billy was fired. And had said
that one
contacts, but he had said contacts at that point were between two people.
Pretty. That one was, make it straight.
Fair.
But they were done there. But
I'm more so saying like he had locked in two head coaching candidates that were contacted already at that point.
Not gonna lie, really disappointed we didn't get news before.
We're gonna get it 5 minutes from now when after we wrap this, and then we're gonna be like
5 o'clock.
We're gonna be like, all right,
7 Central.
Get back on. We got to add to the episode. So if there's a random cut right after this, it's because something happened. We add it back. But I think with that, thank you guys so much for watching, listening. Rate us 5 stars. You can find us on Spotify, TikTok, YouTube, Twitter, and on Instagram at Waterbury Pod. You can follow me on Twitter at Everett6 and at Waterbury Grant. Post new episodes every week on YouTube and all podcast platforms. So make sure to subscribe, turn notifications, don't miss a single episode. We also post exclusive content on Instagram and on TikTok as well. So make sure to check us out there. Don't miss anything else. And with that, we'll see you guys in the next episode. Waterboys out.